Okay. Do we have too much stock on our shelves right now?
Yeah, look, watch the screen. So this is the stock of and this is the stock of USDC. So we have so much. You have so much to offer. It's like loads, 79K. So let's just see how much that is in USDC to buy. So
That's
how much?
because all the small liquidity pool holders are probably out of range by now. It's too the fees are too high and not worth it to remove the liquidity pools.
Exactly.
Also, yes, correct. We can't think of the liquidity as some primary factor for moving the price.
We need
the
3
role of the
million.
liquidity is not move the price, but support the price. If you know what I mean, like the people who really will, the actions that will really raise the price or more have the most effect on raising the price is the number of people who are willing to pay for the token, and especially the number of new people willing to pay for the token.
Higher price, at the higher price.
At higher prices, yes. By new people, I don't mean somebody who doesn't have MM. I mean somebody who's willing to put money, and as in USDC now, today, or Ethereum now. Those will affect the price the most. And then how fast that price goes up or how fast it goes down, that is dependent on the liquidity pool and how much of that liquidity is in front of the price and how much is behind the price.
Yeah. So to level the plane between USDC to, let's say we have a shop and we have loads of on the shelf and a little bit of USDC. So somebody has to come inside our shop and give us 3 million USDC to level the plane. 3 million.
No, that doesn't mean that would not level the plane. That would shoot up the price to 1,000 because the liquidity is spread up to 1,000.
Yeah, it's not set at like $40 pegged. It'll go up as you keep buying one more. You know.
Like you are looking at the liquidity pool on Uniswap, and you are looking at the total number, but that total value in US dollar is a little bit not confusing, but deceitful, because it's not one thing. It's several people with several different pools and at several ranges. So at one range you buy at 50, the other range you're gonna have to buy at 55, and then somebody is not gonna sell you until you pay him to 567, you know, so it's spread out. And if you look at the liquidity pool, I think people put ranges up to 2,000 now, so it's really spread out.
So is that like, if we go back looking at the liquidity right now, what if we had absolutely no liquidity past $40, like, sorry, below $40? If the only liquidity existed above $40, would that mean?
If we had no liquidity above $40, then we can't buy anything above $40.
And then same thing, if there's no liquidity below 40,
nobody's offering anything. There's nothing in
nobody
the shop.
has to offer.
There's nothing in the shop. There's no MMs in the shop then.
You're asking to sell a specific product and no one is willing to pay the price.
Yeah. I think she said behind the price.
So it works both ways. It works both ways.
Both ways. So if there's no USDC at this side, then you can, somebody dumps 10K and we're back to somewhere here, 1035 or whatever.
So if there's no liquidity below 40,
if there's no liquidity, you can't dump either.
Yeah.
If there's no liquidity behind the price,
if you're a whale, if you're a whale, yeah. If I'm a whale, this is what I'm thinking. So let's say I have 20K coins. So I'm calculating how much coins do I have to dump to go back to 20, and then I wait for a few hours when the panic starts, and then they sell the panic holders or whatever. They start selling. So if I drop the price 10%, they are going to drop 5% more, and then I'm going to buy back in. But no, I will wait until new liquidity pools are set here, because if I buy back immediately, my average would be higher because there's no coins to be offered. So you would wait until the coins are offered at this price, loads when the wall is here made, and then you enter. Because this whale, you remember 10K whale that bought, and it brought us to 55. He bought at 40, I think, but his average is 47. Why? Because there wasn't enough coins to be supplied at that exact place where he bought. So his average is 37 actually, and he cleaned everything until 55. So if I was a whale, I would dump and wait a day. 20K coins. You need time for this thing to recover. You know, you took everybody's liquidity. They have to go out. They have to sell. They have to
but if you dump now as a big whale, and then you eat up the liquidity on the right side, then there's no more liquidity. Now the price moves down, like the red line will move to the right side, and now you don't have liquidity anymore to buy, so you're gonna have to buy at a much higher price. So this hypothetical situation we are talking about is not realistic, and it's also not beneficial to any whale either, because once they do it, there's no coming back. Like if I sell it at 40 and now the price is 5, but the second million token or 10 tokens that I can buy are at price 150, then I'm fucked up. Then I'm out of luck. You know? That's it's not in their benefit to do so.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That makes a little bit more sense.
It's just like you're like asking like someone like you have it at 40, and if there's no liquidity behind 40, and you're basically saying I'll sell it to anybody for $39.99, and everybody's saying no, but that can't happen because who wouldn't want to buy it for cheaper than what they already have it at?
Yeah, and the point I was also saying earlier, the opposite is true. Like what Lioness asked before is, what if the price is 40 now, and there's absolutely no liquidity at all after 40, and the only second token we find in front of 40 is like at 1,000. Then the price will have to jump at 1,000 immediately. The price actually already jumped at 1,000, but it only activated when somebody says, you know what, I am willing to buy at 1,000. But if nobody says, then the price is stuck at 40, and any other movement will have to be somebody pay 1,000.
Yep. So if we were more coordinated and say we see a whale dump like 20,000 tokens and the price drops, we could have some liquidity providers then adjust their liquidity pools so that the next, you know what I mean, so that like it is kind of front run up to like the $50, $60, $70, like that's where the whale would have to buy back in, sort of thing.
No, this is something I suggested a couple of weeks ago.
The best is to not touch anything, because let's say he sold here and he ate all of this, he ate all of that liquidity. If you now create a new liquidity pool closer to the price, you're offering to him those coins at a lower price. But if he ate everything on his way down, and you don't touch anything, he has to eat that back. He has to eat his coins back.
In negative.
Yeah, no, but she's right. What she said is right. This is also, if not touching anything will be okay, but if you actually magically take all the liquidity from in front of the price after the dump and put it behind him, then the price will have to forcibly go up immediately and just as fast. Theoretically, practically, it's going to be different.
No, you can't take it out, because if you're taking it out,
I know, but the question is theoretical. You know, like
you have to swap it for the USDC, and that means that you have to sell the token, and you're crashing the price even more.
No, the dump already crashed the price. We are talking about after the price crash.
Yes, and now let's say you're stuck, and he liquidated you into tokens. And you are stuck with 100 tokens. You can't supply liquidity if you don't have half of the and half of the USDC. So you have to sell half of your to get the other half of the USDC, which means that you're selling again. And if everybody does that, the price drops more.
No. I don't have to sell again. I can just put in more USDC from my own bank. My own account, my own Ethereum.
Yeah, that's alternative. But if
also, you don't actually need to go half and half. If you set your range to above the price, then you only need to put in so you don't even need to put in USDC.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not helping, surely.
Yeah, no, but I mean, in this case, like, if the whale dumps and you, like, if they dump it far enough and you move your tokens, like, further up the range, then isn't that, like, the theoretical that's being, like, proposed here? Where you would move your that's closer to the red line above, like...
If we want to talk about the most effective theoretical solution, it would be, let's say we have a price of 100. It would be, and we want to keep the price at 100. This is the best way to do it, which is we take all of our liquidity pools and combine them together and put them a little bit before and a little bit after the 100. This way, it takes a huge amount of money for any whale to dump the price or to pump the price. And now the price is stable. It will look like a sine wave, but in square, like a square wave. This is like the perfect ideal scenario, but this is impossible to do because like it's thousands of people and everybody has their own mind and own decision and own ranges. And
well, and the only thing that would happen would be the price would stay neutral at that point. But I guess what I'm looking at though, so now that you guys have explained it, and you talk about how if a whale was to dump, that they would be eating through or basically taking back all of the liquidity from the red line to the right-hand side. And there's a lot less liquidity there than there is on the left-hand side. So if there was basically like a whale was to sell 10K, that would move the price a lot further, and there would be a lot fewer. Do you know what I mean? Like the liquidity bars. There's a lot less liquidity bars on the right-hand side if a whale came in and dumped 10K versus the other way of someone wanting to come in and chew through 10K on the left-hand side.
That's partially correct, but also partially wrong because the number of bars or the value of the number of bars does not change. It only moves. So the bars that you are seeing on the left side now, they seem like tall and huge. They will be moved by the action of him dumping. They will be moved to the right side.
Yeah, they average out.
Because he's dumping to whom? He's dumping to the liquidity pool. Like him dumping and buying, it's just like taking one bar from the left side and putting it on the right side. This is what's happening.
Okay.
Because he can only trade, buy and sell from the liquidity pool. This is the tokenomics of the reason for it is because there is only 1 million. It's not an inflationary supply. If it was inflationary, then what you were saying would be 100% correct, and the price would keep crashing and crashing and crashing. This is what usually happens with stocks as well. If the company produces more stocks and more stocks and more stocks, they offer more, then the price keeps crashing.
Because it's getting diluted.
Yeah, but not all the coins
there's no dilution here. It's just moving.
Not all the coins are in liquidity pool. You have 79K coins in liquidity, 79K. And you have 3.5 million of USDC at the moment in liquidity locked. So, yeah, you can calculate that you can push the price further easier. It's easier to break the price now to the downwards than to push it upwards.
Yes, that's true. And if more people who are just holding in their wallet, the reason the numbers are a little bit low, and the reason we talk about people with like 10,000 or 20,000 coins as being whales, which in reality they are really not, it's because the majority of people are not putting their money into the liquidity pools. Because if the majority of the stuff is happening, or not, it doesn't need the majority, but if it's a lot more money and coins are being provided as liquidity, it will be harder and harder for any whale or any amount of token to move the price a lot.
Correct.
Yeah. So we should be teaching new people that when they come in, don't just buy. Put your money into liquidity behind us.
We are doing that as well. And next week when I finish moving houses, I'm working on a guide again because our old guide was deleted after the server ban. So I will write a new guide and I will get help also from Liquidity Query, who is also an expert on this. and we will write a really good guide for new people who come in and say, okay, what is this liquidity thing? How do I make money? How do I understand it? And so on.